it's Dorothy Gunning with Scrapbooking Quebec. Today I'm here for the Scrapbook Nerd online shop, and I'm going to be creating a 12 by 12 layout featuring the Simple Stories Feelin Frosty collection. My layout is wintry and whimsical, totally following the mood and feel of this really fun collection. It's also a super easy page design. Here are the supplies I'm going to be using, all from the Feelin Frosty collection, and all of this came from the Scrapbook Nerd online shop. So I will link the shop as well as the products I use in the description box below. So without further ado, let's get started. And this is what's on my desk. My plan is to use that gray polka dotted paper, which is super cute, as my foundation page. That white cardstock, I trimmed it down to 11.5 inches by 11.5 inches. I have a 6 by 4 photo, matted. That's me in old Quebec during a very snowy, wintry day. I've got a bunch of paper here that I think I'm going to use. I don't end up using all of it. I do end up using this, however. It's a silver metallic paper pad. Actually, it's silver and gold from Tim Holtz. I use it all the time. It's a staple in my office, as is this. It's lined paper, and the other side is a wood grain paper. That is from Simple Stories. I'm going to be using that as well. I also have the sticker sheet from the Feelin Frosty collection, and I also have a bunch of embellishments. And I'm showing you this tag cut apart sheet. Simple Stories collections all come with these tag cut apart sheets, and I use them all the time. I absolutely love them. So the first thing I'm going to do is prepare my foundation page, and what I'm going to do is cut a circle from this white cardstock. So again, it measures 11.5 inches by 11.5 inches. I'm going to cut out a big circle. I will put the measurements on the screen. I don't know the exact size right now. And this is a custom cutting system from Creative Memories. I probably had this for about 15 years. It's tried and true, so it's what I still use. And I end up changing my mind. I'm cutting it with a blue blade, which essentially is creating a smaller circle. But in a moment, you're going to see I come in with the red blade and make this circle that I'm cutting out just a little bit bigger. What I will be doing with this, once the circle is cut out, is placing this white cardstock that's going to have a big hole in the middle on top of that gray polka dotted paper, and it sets up an easy and fun foundation page. It's almost going to look like a snow globe. Super, super cute. What I do want, though, is a ring kind of around the inside of that white circle. So I am going to be cutting out another circle. This time I'm going to be cutting out a ring using the same system. So this time I will be cutting out with the blue blade. You're going to see that in a minute. What that does, the blade is further away from the template, so it's cutting out a smaller circle. And then what I will do is keep that template in place, come in with another blade, in this case the red blade, which is closer to the template, and what that does is it cuts me out a nice ring. So that ring measures 1/4 inch. Now, I'm not sure if you have a custom cutting system or something else to cut circles, but if you have absolutely nothing to cut circles, what you could do is cut your pattern paper out in a giant circle. Use a dinner plate as a template. Simply cut yourself out a big circle and adhere it on top of the white cardstock instead of creating a hole in the white cardstock like I did. What I'm doing right there was creating a double photo mat for my photo. So I took that circle, that blue polka dotted paper, and I managed to cut myself out a double mat for that photo. It's already matted in white cardstock, so the double mat was in that blue paper. Now what you see me doing is simply adhering that white cardstock on top of that gray polka dotted paper, and I will do the same thing for the ring. It fits nicely right inside that white circle, but I will keep my photo loose for a while because I'm going to want to play around with embellishing, a journaling box, as well as a title. Now what I plan to do is create a pretty strong vertical border over on the left. And that's where my photo, which is going to be horizontal, will be placed. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. So my photo is going to be over there on the left. And what I'm going to do is create a strong vertical border with embellishing. So off camera with my die cutting machine, I cut out 5 trees. So 3 of them are in that silver metallic paper from Tim Holtz, and 2 of them in that blue polka dotted paper from the Feelin Frosty collection. So I've layered up 3 towards the top, placed my photo, and then I'm kind of overlapping with 2 more trees. So it's kind of a vertical border, but quite organic really the way the trees are placed. Now, if you don't have a tree die, here's another option for you. Basically, here are some rudimentary triangle trees. And for this one, I'm starting with a piece of paper that measures 3 inches by 5.5 inches. I'm marking the middle of it at 1.5 inches. And from that middle mark, I simply cut with my trimmer down to the outer corners at the rectangle there. So essentially creating myself a big triangle. Now, if you want the rougher edges of a tree, here's another idea. I found this punch in my stash. It's ancient from Creative Memories. It's like a starburst. So basically I punched along the edges, the straight edges, and it gave me that jagged look of a tree. You could also do that with maybe decorative scissors or something like that. Anyway, I just wanted to share an alternative way to make trees. I'm just showing you that metallic paper again. I absolutely love it, from Tim Holtz. So I have my border there with the trees. I have the photo placed. Now what I need is a journaling box. So I'm getting out a die from Elizabeth Craft Designs that I use all the time. It's a planner page, and I'm cutting it out in that lined paper from Simple Stories. So that's going to act as a layering piece, but it's also going to be a journaling page. And I use this honestly probably in every second or third layout for sure. I absolutely love it. So you're going to see what I'm going to do with that in a moment. And what I plan to do is basically do my journaling towards the top of the page, and my title, which I will show you in a moment, is going to go towards the bottom of the page. So I'm removing my trees, putting in my planner page. At this point, I'm trying to decide where I'm going to place my photo, and that's when I decide I want my journaling at the top, and once again overlap with the trees. Now for a title, I'm going to use the foam titles sheet from this collection, and you can see I've got a lot of them cut out because that's what I typically do with these foam titles collection. They are all on a clear plastic cellophane. So what I do is I often cut them out and then kind of audition different titles, and that's exactly what I did there. And I decided to go with the word snow. So I have all of my embellishing around me. I have stickers, I have enamel dots, I have self-adhesive brads, tags, and those foam titles. So once again, I'm creating my border with those trees, placing that planner page, then the photo. Now that I know my photo is going to go towards the bottom, I am adhering the photo to the planner page. It's just going to make it easier for me when I am creating my embellishment clusters. At this point, I've lost a tree. Chester had come to visit, and I think he knocked it somewhere. So I had to stop the film, ended up finding the tree, and once again, I'm going to continue with these embellishment clusters. So mainly what I'm doing is creating this strong vertical border over on the left-hand side of the page. But the embellishing is almost going to hug the photos on 3 sides. So you can see me digging into the tags now, and I'm adding a few tags at the top of the photo, kind of towards the right. And then I end up coming in with the sticker sheet. I pull off a few pieces, put them on wax paper so that I can tuck them within my embellishments. However, I'm already finding it's looking quite complete. So I don't add tons of stickers, but I do add some of them. There is one thing I would like to point out before I actually start adhering them. At the end of this video, I ended up deciding that I was missing something. So I decided to add ink just along that border, basically at the top of those trees and underneath the title. I did it with a Picket Fence Studio blending brush. I basically rubbed the brush on my ink and then rubbed it on my page. Nothing too complicated at all. However, I wished I had done it at this point before actually adhering all of this to the page. I ended up just lifting it up a bit and applying the ink, and it worked well. But I just wanted to point that out. If you like to ink, if you like to do mixed media, now is definitely the time to do it before actually adhering all of this to the page. So now that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm adhering all of this exactly as I had placed it. And once this is down, I will come in and add some finishing touches to this. And that, of course, always leads me to have a lot of indecision. I always tend to take a lot of time with the finishing touches at the very, very end. So you can see how 3 sides of my photo are pretty much covered or surrounded in embellishments, but the right hand side of the page is very open, and I think with this type of design that is pretty important because there's so much going on the left hand side of the page. It's nice to have a rest for the eye on the right hand side of the page. So again, lots of stuff happening on the left, almost on 3 sides of the photo, but boom, over on the right, it's like there's nothing. So here I am coming in with the finishing touches. So at this point, I do know I want there to be some sprinkling of something starting at the top left down through the title. And I decide eventually to go with enamel dots, but I played around with snowflake stickers. I played around with foam snowflakes from the title sheet. You can see in the tags I added the self-adhesive enamel dots, or self-adhesive brads, I guess they're called. I also added a self-adhesive brad right in the middle of the letter O for the word snow. And I also added some word stickers in the tabs, and those came from the sticker sheet. But that's about it. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, I did add some ink underneath the title there and above the trees up on the top left, just to add a little bit of color there, kind of like a foundation layer. So that's it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the Scrapbook Nerd YouTube channel, we would be absolutely thrilled if you did. Same thing for my channel, Scrapbooking Quebec. Don't forget to check out the shop. They're getting new stuff all the time. The links are below. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.